Hi everybody, I'm Lucy from Sew Essential and I'm here today to share my latest makes with you. Everything I talk about today, as always, is available on our lovely website, and I'll pop the links to our website and the products I mentioned below as well. And if you like what you see today, please like and subscribe, because every Friday I'll bring you a new video packed full of sewing goodness. So let's get started with the first make, which is this super cozy, lovely, comfortable hoodie, which is just the hoodie of dreams for the life we're all living right now, where we're spending lots of time in loungewear, wanting to be comfortable, wanting to be warm. So this is Jalie 3355. I chose to make the hoodie pattern, and I made it in this absolutely fabulous sweatshirt fabric in this like goldy yellowy colour. It's just so super soft and comfortable. It's got a lovely fleece, buttery soft fleece backing on the wrong side, and it's a cotton jersey sweatshirting fabric. It's Okeo Tech certified as well, so the way that it's produced and manufactured is better for the environment than some of the other production methods for cotton, but it also washes and wears very well as well. It comes in a range of lovely colours as well. We've got some new colours to add to the website, but for now we've got teal, navy, claret, and then we've got lots of others to add as well. The pattern is Jalie, as I say, 3355, and there's options for this hoodie pattern. There's a crew neck sweatshirt and also some jogging bottoms as well. But the thing I really like about Jalie patterns as well, they're fantastic value for money, because a lot of them run right from child sizes all the way up to adult sizes. So if I just give you the size chart for this one, it starts at a 21-inch bust, 20-inch waist and 22-inch hip for the children, and then runs all the way up to a 50-inch bust, 44-inch waist and a 53-inch hip for adults. So a really good size range there, and you could get some real mileage out of this for the whole family if you wanted to. The adjustments, I didn't have to make any adjustments. I chose to make a size small, which was size S, sorry, not small. The sizes on Jalie patterns are alphabetical. I made a size small, which was a 34 bust, 27 waist, I think it was. 34 bust, 28 waist and 37 hip, which is there or thereabouts with my body measurements, probably like an inch out on the hips and waist. But I knew because it was a nice sort of loose fit, that wouldn't be a problem, so I didn't have to faff around with anything there. I made my usual high round back and forward shoulder adjustments, just because I have got a forward shoulder, so that just brings that shoulder seam forward so it sits properly. But yeah, dead straightforward and simple to fit, dead straightforward, simple to make as well. I did just get a scrap of sweatshirt fabric that I had lying around and just mock up a little tank top here. I don't think I'll be wearing this anywhere, but I just wanted to check that the armholes fitted well, because I do have issues in that area sometimes. So I did that, which was dead quick and easy. But I also then used this fabric to practice some of the fancy stitches that I decided to do on the jumper itself. So you can just see I started to get a bit better by the time I was practicing down here. The way I did that was I used my cover stitch machine. I've got a baby lock cover lock machine, so it's an overlocker and a cover stitch, and I used a triple cover stitch, and I sewed from the wrong side of the fabric so that the needles were on the wrong side of the fabric, and then these loopy threads appeared on the right side of the fabric, and I did a little sort of crossover there, and then I did a little bit of that detailing on the kangaroo pocket there as well. So that was quite fun. I thought that it might be complicated to make the hood, but it wasn't. It was dead simple. It was really easy construction, and the thing I really like about the hood is it's really big. I don't know whether anybody else finds this, but sometimes you get a hoodie and the hood's sort of back here, and if it's raining or something, you know, your hair's getting wet. It's really annoying. It's not actually like a functional, practical hood at all. It just doesn't work. It's just a design feature, whereas this actually feels like it's, you know, it does what it's supposed to. It covers up your hair and covers up your head and keeps you warm, which is great. So yeah, the construction was all really simple and really easy. I didn't have any ribbing fabric to do the cuffs and the band at the bottom of the jumper, so I just cut out pieces of the fabric and then I shortened them, because obviously ribbing is a lot more stretchy than this. So the pieces were a bit longer than I needed them to be in this sweatshirting fabric, so I just tested them, just pinned them to it, shortened it until I'd got the fit right, and that's worked out really well. I'm really happy with that. So all in all, a super comfy hoodie that I absolutely love wearing, was so easy and quick to make. It was an absolute winner for me, this pattern was, and the fabric as well. So, in incredibly stark contrast to the previous make, which was all about being at home and being cosy and not socialising, I've made a velvet dress. So, very, very different. But however, I will say that actually, I think this fits in with being at home, being cosy and being comfortable. And I'll tell you why, because I've made it in our stretch velvet, and it is, although it's luxurious and beautiful to look at, it's got that high shine, and you know, just love the way the fabric drapes and moves. It's super, super comfortable, it's warm, it's just wonderful. And I made this because I wanted something that felt really dressy but also was nice and comfortable as well for Christmas Day. Even if it's just the four of us on Christmas Day, just me and my husband and my children, I'll still get dressed up, but we will be spending the day at home. So I just wanted something nice and comfortable to wear, and this fitted the bill beautifully. And it's an idea I've had in my head for the last few years and never had time to make, so it was great to make it this year. So the pattern is McCalls 7893, and it is a super, super simple wrap pattern, wrap dress pattern by Nancy Zieman. It's designed for stretch fabrics, but I found it to be very big, so I did size down quite dramatically on the side seams. I cut a straight size 12. I'll tell you about the sizes in a minute. And I found that there was just a lot of excess fabric here. It depends what look you want to go for, because you might want to have a bit of a bagging over going on, but I wanted it to be relatively fitted. So I just sewed it, tacked it together first, and then played around with the side seams and just pinned it and to fit, and like took out the excess basically off the side seams. But it was really, really easy to do, very, very easy adjustment to make, and it hasn't affected the bodice at all, so it worked out really well. The sizes on this pattern run from an 8, which is a 31.5 bust, 24 waist and 33.5 inch hip, up to a 24, which is a 46 bust, 39 waist and 48 inch hip. I made the straight size 12, which was a 34 bust, 26.5 inch waist. Now I'm about a 29, so that was a lot smaller than my waist, and a 36 hip. I'm probably, about a 37 hip, I would say. So yeah, you know, I do think it comes up relatively big, but it is very, very easy to alter. In terms of the fabric, I was sewn with velvet. Now, a lot of people are frightened, I think, of sewing with this fabric, but I'm happy to report that this was a really pleasurable experience. It was lovely to do. It wasn't, you know, some of the nightmares that you hear about. There are a few tips that I used, but it was very, very easy to sew with. It was very forgiving, even with unpicking when I was tacking the side seams and unpicking them. You know, it was very forgiving. I did need to be careful with that. You know, you don't want to be too rough with it, because obviously it is, you know, it's got a pile, it's quite a delicate fabric, but it just wasn't the difficult drama that, you know, I've heard people report before about velvet. And I think probably that's because there are so many different types of velvet out there, and some of them have got a much deeper pile than this, so they are going to be less forgiving. But I think for your first time sewing with velvet, this is a great option, and it comes in a range of colours. We've got teal, navy, black, and teal, navy, black, and a lovely purple colour as well. So you'll find all of those on our website. I did write a blog post about my top tips for sewing with velvet a long time ago, so I'll pop the link to that below, and I'll just update you with a couple of other tips. I cut it on a single layer. That's really important. You don't want to cut velvet on the fold. I also put the pattern pieces, I put the fabric face down, so I put the pattern pieces on the wrong side of the fabric to pin them and cut them out, because that stopped them slipping around and moving when I was trying to pin them. You also need to make sure that the direction of the pile or the nap is going the same way on all the pattern pieces. So with velvet, there's a lovely sort of soft direction, which is the one I've chosen to have running down the dress, and then if you go in the opposite direction it feels like there's more resistance and it's a bit coarser. It's down to personal preference, whichever one you choose. There's no right or wrong, but most people go for that smooth feeling as you run your hands down the dress, so that's what I went for. And then other than that, I didn't have to use a walking foot with it. I did make the majority of it on my overlocker, but there were some bits I sewed. I sewed this little neck binding on to finish the neckline, and I did do that on my sewing machine, but I didn't have to use a walking foot for that. I didn't find it was creeping or moving particularly the fabric, but then my machine has got settings for different fabric types, so it adjusts the tension and everything accordingly, so it might have had something to do with that. But if you do find you're getting any movement between the different layers when you're sewing, just use a walking foot. But all my tips are in that article anyway, which you'll find the link to below. But yeah, it was an absolute joy to sew. You know, it wasn't a problem. And the construction of the dress was super easy. I mean, it's just finished with this neck binding. It's quite a plunging neckline, but I actually like that because I'm a very small busted person. So, you know, it's quite nice for me to feel that I've got a little bit of emphasis in that area for a change. I think the velvet sort of helps with that as well, and I quite like that. It feels quite nice. I used my cover stitch machine to do the hems. I don't know whether you can pick that up on the camera there. But yeah, I just did a wide cover stitch on the hems and on the sleeves as well. It comes to about knee length on me. I'm 5'6", so yeah, that's the length of the dress. And overall, yeah, I'm just really happy. I did, as I say, take a lot in off the side seams. I just tacked it, fitted it, took it in where I wanted to, and yeah, I've got a super comfortable but nice dressy dress now in my wardrobe, ready to go for when we are allowed to go out again, and also ready for Christmas Day when I shall be staying at home and celebrating all the things that we can this year and focusing on what's important right now. So I hope you've enjoyed that today anyway, everyone. If you like what you see today, please like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.